Dudes, freaking A, man. Sorry, I'm like hella late. I tried doing StreamYards, and the free version, man, it doesn't let you freaking do anything. Welcome back to the damn stream. No, seriously, Streamlabs doesn't let you do freaking nothing, man. You have to pay to be able to do multi-platform stream, something that's just free everywhere. And then you have to pay to use any picture or background. Then you got to pay to do shorts at the same time as freaking regular streaming. It's just been a mess. I thought like, okay, I'll do StreamYards today, and then I'll invite somebody on, but I'm not freaking paying. I don't got the money right now, man. But we chilling. All right. I wanted to talk about some shows I watched today. Well, we might react. As you guys know, there's been massive lag. I don't know why. It's like the past almost month, like I could barely react to anything. And you guys know my content is pretty freaking simple. But my wife and I just today got finished watching Physical 100 Asia. If you guys don't know, Physical 100 is a TV show that originated in Korea. It's on Netflix, and they took 100 of the best athletes they could find that has some sort of connection to Korea or Asia, and then have them all compete, men, women alike, in various physical sports. And they created these challenges to see who's the best in the world at the time out of these 100 people. And it is freaking entertaining. And then this past year, they did Physical 100 Asia, which is teams. They had UFC champions in there. They had, judo champions. They had wrestlers. They had acrobatic people. But it's like they formed a team. And it was super awesome. Really entertaining. Really, I would say the last little bit, like the last challenge, it was cool. It wasn't as entertaining as the other ones. And it's surprising, like the people who make it to the end. So I highly recommend it. It was a fun time. These guys, they're just like competing, and you see how much they not only love their countries, but how much they really care about pushing their body to the next level, and like really feeling each other out. Like they have true competitive nature, and competitive ability. Like it is incredible. You think, like a lot of people's perception who doesn't know sports, like they'll see a big dude who doesn't have a whole lot of definition in their muscle, but they're just fat. Like that's how they think, instead of seeing what kind of athlete they are, like strong men to sumo wrestlers, and like weight class. And like these people, they're athletes, professional athletes. And so they have better cardio. There could be a 300-pound guy that has better cardio than, your average 20-year-old that just runs every few months or so. Like they can outwork them. It's awesome. I highly recommend it. Everybody should check out Physical 100. I recommend you start with Physical 100. There's 2 seasons, and I believe it's going to keep going. The production value is great. It is just so good. And then Physical 100 Asia. Watch Physical 100 first, and then go to Physical 100 Asia. But Physical 100 Asia, it was really, really great. Like the camaraderie, the respect each team had for one another. The kind of like anger they had when they lost and when they wanted revenge. It was just awesome. The things that piss me off about it are very minor. It's more like attitudes, or like, yeah, you guys will see, especially with Thailand, you'll be like, I'm not liking this. And you'll see it. It's funny, but it's like I want them to lose just because of this freaking attitude. And then like Turkey as well. Yeah, there's things that you'll like and dislike, but you won't dislike it because it's bad. It's just you'll dislike it because based off your personality. It's a really good show. Highly recommend it. It's really refreshing because it's a reality TV show that um is more objective. You could see it. You know, it's not like your Kim Kardashian bullcrap. It Physical 100 Asia. You know, it even motivates you to exercise and get out and just have fun and be entertained, man. Like, I don't know how else I could praise this show. Like, truly, like every episode, you have no idea. You know which team is gonna win, which like who has the best athletic ability, like what are your thoughts are. It doesn't matter what you think. Like, they surprise you, man. Like, some people, they just seem like there's a team on Physical 100 Asia. They seem freaking unstoppable, and then there's a few cracks here and there, and then other teams, they have to strategize because they can tell that this team is stronger than their team, or this one's faster than their team. This one has more skill in this area. So they gotta really plan it out. It's really a team effort. You think when you go into it, you think that like this is gonna be determined off a few key players because like girls versus men, this is gonna be useless. But then like, and it isn't like they overpower them. It's out strategizing other teams. Man, it's worth the hype, man. And like Physical 100 is just, if you don't get motivated to get your butt off the couch and want to achieve your perfect physique, get healthy, get fit, do something with your body, like check your pulse, because you might not be alive. Because this show, man, it will inspire you to work freaking hard, man, on just your physical self and your mindset. And that's the biggest thing. It's a challenge of your mindset and how much your mind can push your body, how much you allow it to push your body. Like understanding that pain is temporary and suffering is a choice. Man, it is. Physical 100 is already great, and then you got Physical 100 Asia. Dude, just killing it, man. Just like, you got some of the top athletes in the world just competing. Olympic medalists. You got one championship fighters. You got UFC champions in there. You got people competing in the UFC. Like I said, it is just it really is a fun and good show, and it's genuine. That's the thing. Like, everybody there is very genuine. They're not pretending to be. You're not watching actors make a performance. It's refreshing. If you're sick of watching movies, you're worried about like if the story's gonna be good or not. It's just people being real. The production value is great. The challenges are pretty amazing. And there is one particular challenge that I think in Physical 100 Asia, and I might do a review on it some other time. But there's a challenge that I thought, when it was the last four teams competing against each other, technically the last 3 to 4, and you'll see what I mean. They could have done better. Actually, I could talk about it now. So they have weight on sand, and they're supposed to push this log and make a circle 100 times, right? But there's 3 logs. So there's the center, right? There's the center. There's a log here, and a log with weight right here, right? So log with weight, log. And 3 got on one side, and before they were doing the rope challenge. So whoever competed before can't compete with the logs, and all teams compete at the same time to try to hit 100 laps first, right? But only 3 of each team, and there's 6 in each team. I think instead of 100 laps, it should have been 120 laps. And the first 3, like in the first 50 laps, the entire team should have gone together, right? And they would have to strategize. It would have to be like all out in the beginning, and then the rest of your energy for the last 70 laps. Then the last 70 laps, those who competed right before, and when you guys go watch this, you see what I'm talking about. those who competed last, the previous challenge, they would leave and leave the remaining 3 that we saw compete, do the last 70 or last 60, whatever they want to put it. I think it would have been a lot more fair and a lot more interesting. It was, and who knows, maybe one of the teams that made it to the final 3 wouldn't have been there. But yeah, it was a good time. And yeah, like Physical 100 Asia, I highly recommend it. As a reality show and something that really inspires you to want to be physically dominant. Go watch it. It is, you'll enjoy it. You'll have a great time with it. There's not much more I can say. You just have to watch it to see how it is. And I recommend, if you've never watched it, it's on Netflix. Physical 100 first. There's 2 seasons. Solid. Physical 100, and then go to Physical 100 Asia. Okay? I guarantee you guys will not regret it. It is awesome. Loved it. I freaking loved it. Like and subscribe, dirtbags. You know how it is. And yeah, we chilling. So one thing I wanted to point out, like I did the review of Physical 100 Asia, and I watched it with my wife, right? One thing, this is kind of like one topic into 2. So first, I was on the Average Boys podcast. I was talking to Chris and Derpy Entertainment, right? And we were discussing back and forth like degeneracy in media. And I was even talking to my neighbors. I was talking to a lot of people. It's a topic that's been on my mind ever since Sunday that we've been talking about it. It's been over a week. And it's something that I thought about before, is like, we're so far gone in terms of desensitized, degeneracy, like cussing all the time, sexual stuff on movies, to the point where it's practically, adult entertainment rated XXX stuff, right? And it sucks. Like, you kind of heard the Terrence Howard interview about talking about Game of Thrones. Like, look, man, there's certain things that we don't need to see. We don't need to hear. And there is a desensitization. We're forgetting, I think especially the West, we're forgetting what is purity, what is good versus evil, what kind of is the line, what's the higher standard. We're forgetting that. And TV shows and movies, they're getting more and more mature. Like all PG-13 movies, they're pushing it right before rated R. It isn't PG-13 because that happens to be the rating. They're trying to make sure they're under rated R. And that's not what we're looking for, man. We're looking for stories. And trying to always be edgy, trying to always, be more mature and more real is the perspective of the masses. And it's not about being a good story and being better or more than how the world really is, right? Like, I think cussing is funny, but I think there's moments and places where we don't need to hear it so much, right? Like, especially, in front of the elderly, older people, women, whatever. Like, there's cultural standards and whatnot, but you see, like, the Green Lantern trailer. There was 3 curse words, 3 F-bombs in the trailer, and it wasn't a red band trailer. That's some cause for concern. And then you see things like, like trailers and music videos that are ads, and they're cussing, they're talking about sexual stuff like it's nothing, and they're not even bleeping it out no more. Like, you can't tell who's watching YouTube. You can't tell their age. And just because they looked up something and then said, yep, I'm this age, they're just playing it. And even then, sometimes the ads just start talking about this bullcrap. Start singing about obscene things. And there's a place for it. Fine, like you're a fan. Like I'm not talking about you can't be a fan, but I'm talking about like the innocence, the purity that we used to have in films. Like ratings used to be able to determine that. We don't have that anymore. Like what PG-13 is now is what rated R was around 45 years ago. You understand that? Like, and it's not that there isn't a progression. We just pushed it way too far. I believe nowadays, to get back to some normalcy, we need another rating. You know, we need things to be a little bit more explicit on the parental guide, saying like there's homosexuality and you know, these sort of themes in there or discussions, so that at least families and parents can know what they're getting into. But I was thinking about it while watching Physical 100 Asia, and my wife is from South Korea, right? We were watching it, and many times the translation, because obviously I'm reading subtitles, they're not cussing. It says the F word, the S word, and she's like, they didn't say that. Not once did they say these curse words that is being translated to English. And it got me thinking. I'm like, are English speakers so far gone that in order for things to have impact, they have to hear a curse word? They're losing vocabulary. They're losing English words that can expound on their feeling without using vulgarity. You know, like I'm not saying take it out of everything, but I'm saying like look at where we are right now. Like I tried showing my wife the Suicide Squad 2, right? And you know, like the dude's head gets blown up and it's all like gore and guts everywhere. She couldn't watch it. She's like, nope, I'm not watching this bull crap because I don't ever want to see that. You know, and then I was thinking about, you know, Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, season 2, episode 2. I don't know why it has to be season 2, episode 2, both times. You know, they're killing babies, and it's the sound and everything. It's heavy stuff. Like I don't think we are designed to watch something like this. You know what I mean? Like even the filming a dead baby that they showed on The Witcher, I was super uncomfortable with it. Aside from being a garbage show, I was hella. Like, I felt awful, you know, like, it's just, there's things that should be left to the imagination. There's ways of allowing us to have escapism and still feeling like it's real and mature without vulgarity and explicitity. And I think since we've been so explicit, since we've been so vulgar, we've lost the art of show and not tell. Like the art of like really pulling the best acting out of the actors and the directors really fine-tuning their script. Now it's just like throwing an F word to show that they're serious. You know, like show their cock to really make sure that they know that they're, like the audience knows that they're about to F. You know, it's not enough to have, you know, like a sensual, you know, touch of the arm and bringing them in and then fading out to the camera to some other scene, and then you know what happened because you know you have constructive you have critical thinking. But man, yeah, I think we've become too degenerate, and we need to go back to having a little bit of purity, having a little bit of innocence in our films, even in heavier films, so that like we understand, and it becomes more implied what is good and evil, what is a hero and what is a villain. You know, a great distinction just off vocabulary alone. And yeah, like it's a sad thing that we are at this point. But yeah, degeneracy in films, man, especially here in the West. And I was thinking also that one of the reasons Korea has increased in media in the past few years is because they're focusing on story, and there's a high level of innocence and purity. Like a lot of them aren't even kissing until mid to the end of the season. And you know, you're so focused on story and like The buildup is the kiss. Like my mom was pointing out like a K-drama we were watching. She's like, if this was Brazilians, like halfway through the first episode, they be effing. It's real. But one of the draws is that in and of itself is that like Korean women, they portray femininity much more. They care about that stuff. They're dressing better. They're not showing cleavage and all that stuff a whole lot. They are really caring about being respectful and being pure and having a level of innocence to it. Sometimes they take it too far. The men look a little femmy, like there's a sweet spot for sure. But yeah, and another good example is Twilight. Say what the hell you want about the freaking Twilight series. One of the reasons it's so big, it drew people so much, is because Edward tells Bella that he's not going to have sex with her until marriage. It's become such an insane concept, but that touched every woman's heart, even if they don't believe in it, because that means that that man really loves that woman for her. He's not just looking to hit it and quit it. You know what I mean? It really, really speaks to a level of love that we just don't really understand or see in today's age. And so, we need some of that back. I'm not saying go full swing to the other side, but I'm saying bring it back. Take some curse words out of your movies. Have more interesting dialogue. Work on, I don't care if English is your first language. Study a little bit more. Learn some new vocabulary. Add it into there. Make some themes a little more pure, a little more innocent. And I think that would be a magic. I think that would be magic in Hollywood, man. And it would bring back so much good grace that people will go and watch a movie, even if it's bad, just because it has some purity and it has some innocence, and it's no longer explicit. It's not in your face. Man, that's what we're missing. Like and subscribe, people. There's more I want to talk about in terms of that. I like to have debates and discussions, but like and subscribe. You guys know what I mean. And if you don't know what I mean, like, I'm retarded, so we're chilling. Okay. We're going to try. You guys know one of my favorite YouTubers, Tyrone Magnus. Okay? He's reacting, so I'm going to react to his reaction. You feel me? So a reactive reaction. Harry Potter, here we go again. Okay? You guys know. Black Snape making the rounds. All right? It was a surprise from HBO, Warner Brothers, that Hogwarts is in Chicago. Pretty progressive thinking, Getting that mindset, the Mamba mindset right. You feel me? So let's see what they got for us. Let's see what's going on. All right.
Oh boy, this should be fun.
It's not lagging.
This should be fun. Are you ready?
All right. I'm ready. Ready, baby. Ooh.
The Harry Potter series and I have a complex...
Critical drinker. All right. Critical and Tyrone. Yo, Tyrone.
relationship. The books kind of passed me
Tyrone
by in
Snake.
the 90s because angsty teenage drinker was more into serious, pretentious fantasy at the time, so I never really fell in love with them and grew up with Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
I didn't hear about Harry Potter until the movies came out. I knew nothing about it.
Really?
As a matter of fact, wait a minute. Because I think I'm older than the drinker is.
Isn't the drinker like 40?
Harry Potter book come out?
I'm pretty sure Critical Drinker's 40. It might be all the drinking, but I didn't shake the dude's hand, but I saw him in person, and I was like, he looks all right, but damn, he getting up there. He might be 45. I don't know. I saw him at the meetup in Orlando like a week ago. I didn't meet him because I was like, people were forming a line. I'm like, that's freaking gay. I'm not doing that. That's retarded. I'm not gonna get in line to shake some dude's hand. Like, but I got to meet some cool people there. It was fun.
Taking forever. Come on,
man.
Never heard of him until the movies came out.
Like so many other people did. Likewise, when the movies came out in the early 2000s, I didn't have any context for whether they were faithful adaptations or not, and I'll be honest here, the quirky, goofy, family-friendly tone of the early films didn't do much to win me over.
Man, it won me over, man. I was a kid. Like, I'm even smiling right now watching freaking Harry. I know you guys can't see a whole lot. Here, let me move this around for you guys because... Just so you can feel. Look at all these distracting screens. But I knew about the books. I didn't read them. I knew about the books. Actually, no, I did read. I was reading Sorcerer's Stone, and it was in the school library, and we had to pick a book for. We used to have like these book tests, and we had to pick an advanced book, and I picked that one. It just looked interesting, but I wasn't retaining freaking anything. I was having fun though. But when the movies came out, damn, like I was like, sweet.
I didn't hate them or anything, they just weren't really my cup of tea.
Right.
So I was happy to let fans get on with it. But I was always kind of curious, because nothing achieves that level of cultural impact without something pretty fucking special to back it up.
True.
So a couple of years ago, I girded my loins, grew my beard, and finally made the time to read the books and find out what all the fuss was about. And damn, man, I believe that I finally understood the appeal of Harry Potter. Yeah, J.K. Rowling's absolute abuse of adverbs in her writing can be tough to get through at times. Watch out, Harry, Hermione shouted warningly. I'm telling you, man, once you see it, you can never unsee it. But overall,
look, J.K. Rowling, her writing is, let's just say it's not Tolkien level. It's not, it's not George R.R. Martin level, but she's already better than George R.R. Martin because she's already finished her freaking series. As a kid, I thought it was complicated. I was like 6 or 7 when I read the book at first. But I do remember like feeling like I was part of something. And I think it does gravitate towards kids and teenagers quite a freaking bit.
Was an impressive feat of imagination, and in a way it did make me appreciate the movies from a whole new perspective. Okay. Now I understood just how much depth, world building and complexity they had to cut and condense.
Oh, who knew we were gonna get some lag? It's almost as if I predicted it. We'll only react to this one, guys, and then I will freaking go after a bunch of other stuff. I'll just start speaking nonsense as usual. But let's see. Are we still lagging? I don't know why, but as soon as it's always like halfway through the reaction, but it starts lagging. But let's see. I think we'll be good for the rest of the video, maybe.
To fit some pretty fucking enormous books into a 2-hour narrative.
Damn it.
What I'm trying to say with all this push is that I greeted the announcement of a new Harry Potter TV series on HBO with about the same level of enthusiasm I'd welcome the installation of a new toilet seat. I mean, it is an improvement, I guess, but is it really going to do anything revolutionary? Oh, this is the best shite I've done in years. Right. On the plus side, all that extra runtime offers the chance to expand on stuff from the novels.
Okay, hold up. Look. It wasn't that I was for the show, the reboot or the new TV show. Freaking, I could barely talk. It wasn't that like I was for the new TV show, okay? But I was like, okay, if they pull this off, it's gonna be the best thing that Warner Brothers ever done in terms of a cash grab, because then you're recapturing an old generation, but still solidifying these are the movies and just keeping this as a TV show, and it's just gonna expound on the lore. So they could have also played with the whole, yo, we're going to, if you watch this show, you can appreciate the show, but you can also watch it and then go into the movies with a new perspective. Even though the movies, like, they didn't have a solid landing at the end. The last two movies were pretty abysmal. It probably, honestly, I think the entire conglomerate of Harry Potter should have gone to like 11 films. It's there's a lot of lore that they missed, a lot of characters they cut out, and they just couldn't stick the landing with the timing that they had. Some people say they should have been less. No, I don't think so. I think there was a lot more story to be told, and then that's what I was thinking. Like, if they do this right, if they do the right casting and everything, and I've always thought the casting of the kids is not going to be the hardest thing to do. The casting, Professor McGonagall, Dumbledore, Snape, and Hagrid were going to be like they're already iconic. They're iconic, man. They're already good. Like they captured the magic, just the casting in the films, and they casted Black Snape, and he'll be forever known as Black Snape. That's the problem. And you know why they cast. They didn't cast because he's the best actor for the job. They didn't cast him because no one else applied. Like, they're trying to hit quotas. They're trying to use identity politics. They're trying to, like, it's not genuine. It's the furthest thing from being genuine. And, you know, they did it with Hermione, and we can't fault her because she's a kid. You know? We could fault the studio, but she's a kid. And she might pull off great acting, and I think her, all right. If they keep the world politics out of it and keep the politics of mudblood and discrimination in terms of who has the purest blood, okay. But we know that with Black Snape, they're going to do the whole hang upside down tree thing, and maybe Harry's dad is going to be a reformed supremacist, or they're going to pull a race thing eventually. It's just not. It's not honest. It just isn't honest, man. But okay. Let's get back to the reaction.
Had to be cut or massively simplified for the sake of movie making, which is nice, I guess. Shit, man, it might even do my boy Ron justice this time around. Seriously, the Ron from the
they
books
really
is
screwed
such
him up
a
in the
wildly
movies.
different character from the film.
I love the actor in the movies, but yeah, in the books, so much better. Like, they didn't make him a cuck. They kind of did him dirty, but the actor with his charisma and his acting, he made, even though he's so different than in the books than the movies, he's still my favorite character in the movies.
It's not even.
And even though his romance was forced, it still felt good and genuine in my part. I still love that they ended up together, you know?
He's snarky, he's quick-witted and assertive.
Never heard that before, and I've heard people talk about this, but interesting.
He's angsty about his poor background, but he takes no shit from people about it. He argues regularly with Hermione, and he actually wins a lot of the time. On the other hand, I can't say I was exactly desperate to watch the same story get rehashed again, even if it came with a few extra bells and whistles attached. And well, there's the other issue to consider. The first Harry Potter movie came out a quarter of a century ago, and Hollywood is a very different place from what it was in 2001. But
so.
hey, it's happening no matter what some arsehole on YouTube says. And yesterday, the first trailer dropped for season 1, so what the fuck do I actually think about it?
By the way, my favorite part of the actual new series trailer was just Ron's little psh. I thought it was cute. I thought it was like, out of all of it, that was the most magic. I gotta tell you, after the entire trailer of Harry Potter, the thing that I thought was the most magical was just the innocence of Ron and the smile. Like, that was the best part of the trailer, and the little ending music. It was awesome.
This one left me feeling confused.
Yeah, everybody like.
Here's the problem. The reason why you're confused. The color grading is off, man. It doesn't seem hopeful. It seems dreary and gray. And I know British, the English, they are a sad people. You thank America for that one. But yeah, there's not much. It's not really hopeful, you know. Like the color palette's off. You know, who did this? Zack Snyder. And then obviously Black Snape is a problem. Like that fool is a problem. Got like literally the Half-Blood Prince. You know, the Crips don't seem as full blood. You feel me? But the Half-Blood Prince, one of the most essential characters in this entire series. And then they race swap him. It's going to be quite the stain in this show. And I have my thoughts on its success later, but we'll get to that. And the other thing is actually Hagrid. The guy looks like him. The hair's not too bad. But the problem is it's a little bit of the voice. He feels like a big guy. He doesn't feel like a giant. Like the Hagrid from the movies, dude, iconic. Everybody else, I really like Professor McGonagall. I really do. I like that actress. And Dumbledore, I've said it before, like, who knows if this is going to finish in 8 years. He'll be 88 by then or dead. Like, yeah, Lord Farquaad's going to be a great Dumbledore. Solid. But yeah, there's and he's all great actors in there. I don't know about the Snape dude, but yeah, it's just from that, it's you killed it, man. You killed this entire show before it even had a chance to breathe. You know, somebody's got the knee on the neck. All right. Let's get back to it.
Trailer overall, it's just, we know what they're doing as usual, so.
Right off the bat, the tone of the trailer is bizarrely dark, serious and heavy, all muted colours and washed out lighting, and overlaid with that booming, ominous Hans Zimmer score that feels more like a grandiose, painfully serious Zack Snyder superhero flick than a whimsical kid's adventure. Don't get
like the end part of the music at the end of the trailer, it was really nice. It was a little bit reminiscent of John Williams. It has like a magical feel to it. But the entire time, it felt like this trailer had no identity musically. And it was just like your same music beat over and over, you know, like and it isn't just like Hans Zimmer, it's the new formula for all trailers. Even you see in like certain video games like Star Wars trailers, like they don't even have Star Wars music no more. It's just a formulaic, you know, music that maybe psychologically grabs people, but it just sucks. It's just freaking awful. It missed a lot. Color palette and music. Color palette and music really did some damage to this trailer.
wrong. The intention's obviously to contrast the bleak concrete jungle of the Muggle world with the vibrant magic and colours of Hogwarts. But holy shit, we're not launching into some deadly...
And we are experiencing the lag of all lags. He's no good, man. He's no good. But it's alright. We'll get back to it. I think every time I go to the solo, we're solid. Oh.
epic fantasy here. The John Williams score from the movies was absolutely pitch perfect for Harry Potter, combining intrigue and mystery with an undertone of adventure and danger, and just a hint.
Well, Zimmer's the new guy on the block.
Yeah, but Hans Zimmer's freaking awesome. Let me reload this. What is it at? 4 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm gonna reload it. Hee.
Takis chili lemon.
Oh my gosh.
Light heat, big punch of lime.
There's mosquitoes up in this bit.
Oh boy, this should be fun. This should be fun. The block.
Okay. Are we experiencing any lag? All right, let's.
Been there. Well, he's not new, but you know what I mean. So he's the guy. So they brought him in.
Yeah.
Of playfulness to remind you that yes, you're allowed to have fun with this one. The characters, on the other hand, are a bit of a mixed bag. The kids all look fine, I guess. The lead actor for Harry doesn't quite have the same spark and charisma that Daniel Radcliffe had, but I'm sure it'll do okay. Hermione is kind of meh. She doesn't have the bushy hair or the buck teeth or the pale skin that Hermione was known for.
Well, they kind of gave her teeth. They are prominent. It's not super bushy. No, it's more laid down than the last one.
But, you know, apart from that, she's dead on, I guess. Aunt Petunia's been changed from a pretentious, upper-middle-class snob to what looks like a council estate chav for some reason. And yeah, I know that's going to have Americans scratching their heads in confusion, but what can I say? If you know, you know. It does seem kind of strange, though, because the Dursleys represented a very specific kind of conservative...
That guy, that was a guy, by the way, dressed as a lady. He's pretty funny. If you look up some of his stuff, you get some nudity in there. He's a funny guy, though.
Middle-class British.
Someone help me.
Is obsessed with appearance and reputation, which puts them exactly at odds with Harry and everything that he represents. If you've ever seen the sitcom Keeping Up Appearances, you'll recognise absolutely everything about them right there. Actually, it almost makes me wonder if old J.K. Rowling was a fan of the show too. The reality, though, is that the casting in general is probably going to be compared unfavourably to the film franchise.
Yeah.
Say what you want about the movies, but the actors they managed to assemble for them were absolutely phenomenal. I mean, where else are you going to see Alan Rickman, Maggie Smith, Ralph Fiennes, Gary Oldman, Jason Isaacs, Brendan Gleeson, Michael Gambon, and John Hurt in the same fucking movie? Somehow, I don't think Nick Frost and John Lithgow are quite on the same level. Anyway, enough about that bullshit. Let's talk about the real elephant in the room. Draco Malfoy's hair.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The freaking... Good Lord. It kind of doesn't it kind of look like Johnny Bravo a little bit? Like a twink Johnny Bravo?
What's with the fucking Gen Z bird's nest resting on his head? He looks about as intimidating as Patton Oswalt. Oh yeah, and Snape's in the trailer as well. I'll be honest, I think the casting department did a great job with this one. Apart from the hooked nose, the greasy straight hair, the thin physique, and the pale sallow skin. He's the spitting image of Snape from the book.
If you guys read the books, there's... I forget which book. They describe his skin as pearl white in one. From like the grease or I forget the situation, but I remember distinctively they saying pearl white, or like
Really?
Joking aside, race swapping such a prominent character that was clearly described as white in the books and was played to absolute perfection by Alan Rickman in the movies was a pretty dumb decision, because ultimately it's just going to overshadow everything else about this show.
You know what's gonna happen? Hold up. Let me get full screen for this. You know what's gonna happen? Somebody's gonna AI the entire series to put Alan Rickman in as Snape, and then it's gonna be watchable. It's gonna be distinct. With AI nowadays, somebody's gonna make this more successful than what HBO is gonna do. They're going to completely put the white in the back in the white. You know what I mean? I'm serious. Like, someone's gonna AI that stuff. Someone is gonna have the brains, the drive to be like Snape. Bombaclat is white. He's not whatever that dude is. Don't even know if he's Jamaican. I think he's just black. Like African. But they gave him dreads, so there we go.
So my favorite Alan Rickman movie is Robin Hood, Prince of
Yes!
Thieves. Please watch that if you haven't seen it. Please.
I love that movie. I love that movie. That's the movie that my parents watched in theaters, and like solidified their relationship in Brazil. You know, they watched it, and like the music is their wedding song from that movie. I love Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, especially Alan Rickman in it, where he's like, you, my chambers, whatever, 7:00. You, 7:30. Bring a friend. Just goes off. Like, yeah. Just phenomenal. Great villain. Love that movie.
Is absolutely.
And Kevin Costner's Robin Hood.
Hilarious in it. Hilarious. He makes the movie for me.
Hilarious and
Please
intimidating at the same time. That's how good of an actor
the only
he is.
thing that anyone's talking about right now. And based on the ratio on that first trailer, the talk has not been positive.
Oh, it's gotten
also
worse.
Exposing the actor to a lot of hate that he absolutely doesn't deserve. And for what? What does all this accomplish, really? Is it going to improve the show? Will it get more people to watch it? Or does it just become a convenient shield to hide behind so you can dismiss any and all criticism, no matter how valid or well-intentioned, as nothing more than ignorant bigotry? There's a reason most fans let out a collective groan these days every time a new remake or reboot of an old franchise gets announced. It's because the culture that allowed the original versions to get made the way they were just does not exist anymore, and what we get instead tends to be a lazy, pandering, badly written facsimile of it. We've seen it in just about every other IP that ever got treated to a modern remake, and it would be a real shame if we saw it again here.
Well, you are seeing it.
Anyway,
it's just
that's
lazy.
all I've got for today. Go away now.
Had a little bit more energy than the last one did.
Yeah, because people are pissed.
I'll have to watch Jeremy John's review of it and see what he says.
Jeremy John's review? He
tends to stay away from controversy. He's very, very PC and nice about things. So
we might have to look up Jeremy Johns.
He's not going to say
even with the lag.
I still got to watch it. He's still one of my top guys to go to. So, how do you feel? Get over to Critical Drinker, subscribe, tell them Tyrone Magnus sent you. If you enjoyed my reaction and commentary, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and share. 10 million subscribers.
Same for me. Wait. He's going to do the woo.
Woo.
Oh, come on, man. Put some black into it. Yeah, go subscribe to Tyrone Magnus, the blackest Snape in the world, Tyrone, and Critical Drinker, as per usual. Two great YouTubers. Yeah. I have thoughts on the whole success of this thing, but yeah, man, like and subscribe to The Last Relic. Let's check out this Jeremy Johns, huh? Jeremy Johns talking about blackies. Let's see. Jeremy Jones. So the new Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone looks good? Is that all he said? Okay. It's 5 minutes. It's his thoughts. I'm sorry, I have to watch a super gay ad real quick. All right. Let's get to Jeremy Jones. What's with the lag? All right. Okay, I think we'll be all right. Jeremy Jones.
Crucio! No. Can't do that. That's bad. So I'm told, but So we have a new trailer. Well, it's not even a new trailer. It's the first trailer to the Harry Potter HBO series, Season 1, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I actually really like it that it's called the Philosopher's Stone, because the book's called the Philosopher's Stone, but in America we were like, philosophers, we don't know what that is. We know what sorcerers are, though. Yes, sorcerers. Beat a lot of those in Dragon Warrior, not Dragon Quest,
Quite honestly, never cared for being called Philosopher's Stone. Always thought Sorcerer's Stone was better, and I still think it is. Like, they don't really expound on what the philosopher is in the book. Like, and I wonder, maybe somebody could tell me, did J.K. Rowling, was her target audience kids or just anybody? I'm guessing it was kids, right? Her writing isn't like freaking scholarly. Like it's decent writing. A lot of adverbs. But yeah, like I want to know if because if it was targeted to kids and you're gonna put philosopher in the title, you kind of gotta let them know what the freak philosopher means.
Warrior, because we like changing the name of shit. But yeah, the trailer's out.
No. Well, we're dealing with some technical difficulties. Some lag. Sorry, guys. I'll keep it entertaining for you guys. Gay. Okay, let's see if it's freaking fixed. It's just freaking random.
It looks really good. The tone and the vibe of the whole thing just works. Because it doesn't look like they're going,
wrong.
okay, there's a whole new generation of...
Wrong. The tone and the vibe. Sort of, until you get to Blackie. And then the tone, no. Like, even the color grading, it's pretty... There's some issues. There's issues.
Kids who apparently don't have access to streaming services and Blu-ray discs, which they do, so why? Here's how you do it. You create a new tone and vibe for the entire thing. As the Harry Potter movies went on, and the books as well, Harry Potter definitely started having a darker vibe. But it still felt like the world of Harry Potter that was set up from the beginning. The setup?
This one doesn't. This one feels like it's dark the whole time. And Petunia doesn't seem like your middle class looking to be high class, suburban wife along with her husband. They just seem like douchey Karen 2.0,
This feels a bit different, man. If I can describe the Harry Potter movies as Harry Potter movies feel like a magical world, and also, yeah, there's the Muggle world. This trailer feels like it's a Muggle movie that then becomes a magical thing, which is basically how...
Okay. I could see that. I would like the color grading to be better, though. They can even change the color grading so that you could get this different vibe when he's a student and at Hogwarts and going to Diagon Alley and all that stuff, where it's like kind of more sunny and whatever. But every time he goes back home, it just looks dreary. You could do that. It needs to be skillful, but yeah.
Harry Potter would experience it. So I dig it. John Lithgow being Dumbledore. That's surprising.
Got a Jewish hat.
When you see him in this trailer, and he looks really good. He looks like Dumbledore.
Lord Farquaad. He huffed and he puffed and sent in an eviction notice.
Some unspoken rule
Sorry, that
where
was
it's
weird.
like, Americans, this is not their thing. Y'all had a choice. Keep it the Philosopher's Stone or never be Dumbledore in any live-action Harry Potter ever. And you chose. But in this trailer, you do see things that I personally don't remember from the book. We see Harry in school, but not Hogwarts. At least I don't think that's Hogwarts. If that's Hogwarts, that's basic as hell. It's Harry in school.
It's definitely in school. And maybe, I think, in my thinking, they're in Chicago. Just based off Snape. Maybe Detroit. Specifically. You could be Atlanta. Black Snape. Could be Atlanta, Georgia.
Before he gets to Hogwarts, I would imagine. And he's got a bully problem. But I like to think in some chapters later, years later, Half-Blood Prince or so, when he enters Snape's mind and he sees Snape's experience in school, getting bullied by his dad, James Potter, after the denial phase of Harry being
Half-Blood Prince, half Crip Prince? Huh? You got to choose, boy. Half-Blood or half-Crip?
father was a great man. The characters and the audience could have this moment to look back on to form a connection there. My father was a swine. When Harry was the underdog getting picked on. Not Dumbledore's favorite making it rain extra points to Gryffindor because, well, it's Harry. Absolute favoritism. That always got me. And I'm really looking forward to age-accurate casting here. This is a difficult thing for me. I read the Harry Potter books after Order of the Phoenix came out, so I'd seen all the movies up till then. So I'm reading the books, but I'm seeing the characters as the actors from the movies. And let's face it, they were decades older than their characters actually were. It didn't really hit me until I got to the age
I don't think so.
they were supposed to be. I turned 31 or so, and I'm like, oh, Snape's supposed to be my age now. And the illustration of that age.
And you kind of look, no offense, dude, maybe it's the whiteness in your beard. You look the same age as Snape as he was in the movies. Ooh, yeah.
Gap I feel is important. On screen, it felt like Harry Potter was talking with, interacting with, dealing with.
Look, man, get to Snape. Are you gonna? How does Snape look now, huh?
Characters who were 2 generations past. It's not supposed to be that. The age gap between me now and those characters are supposed to be is the same age gap as the age those characters are supposed to be in Harry Potter being born. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. More importantly, feeling that. Yeah, gotta say, this trailer came out and I was like, I'm impressed. Anything else I forgot to talk about? No? Great. Yeah, I went through this entire video not talking about the Snape casting. That is a man who's been doing this YouTube thing for quite a while. But now that I mentioned, I guess I'll talk a bit. Okay, so Snape in the books and the films is really white. Snape has always been one hacky sack and 3 Linkin Park albums away from being the whitest character ever put to book and film white. Did I just describe myself? No.
All right.
I never played hacky sack. I do have all the Linkin Park albums on vinyl and CD. I don't give a fuck. And now, Snape is black. But for me, it's, I think, a Nick Fury. It dawns on me, there's some people
Sell out. Why are you being such a pussy, dude? Nope. Like, you can be critical. All right? You know what they're doing. Still like you, Jeremy. Still like you. But come on, bro. Don't be a puss. You literally just described it perfectly, and now you're trying to backtrack?
This who weren't alive when Nick Fury was white. There was a time he very much was for decades. And that was how I saw Nick Fury. That was Nick Fury. Or David Hasselhoff from the made-for-TV movie. Then I saw Nick Fury in the post-credit scene of Iron Man 1, and I was like, I mean, that's Samuel L. Jackson with an eye patch. It's not Nick Fury, not to me. It doesn't feel like Nick Fury. Now, I found out later, a few years prior to Iron Man 1, there was a reimagining of Nick Fury in which he was made to look like he was modeled after Samuel L. Jackson. But I didn't...
Look, if we're going to point out Nick Fury, I grew up, and my first impression was not Samuel L. Jackson, but was Black Nick Fury. I think it was on X-Men Evolution cartoon, and then I just read some of the comics with him. Today's day and age, they kind of made him the son of white Nick Fury, and somehow they both got eye patches. Oh, freaking A. Ugh. That wasn't good. And they somehow both got eye patches. And then when you read the comics, like, there's a definitive Nick Fury, and it isn't the Black Nick Fury. I like both, but again, it's a reboot of comics. It's different storylines. It's much different than one solid story. Okay? That there isn't... They didn't come out with new series of Harry Potter books, the same 8 Harry Potter books, in a different way. Completely rewritten. That's what comics are. That's one of... I don't agree with race swaps ever, but that's one of the reasons why sometimes there's like, all right, I can live with it a little bit. But it's still... It's just as bad. No, this is much worse. I mean, my bad. This is way different. The Nick Fury stuff is... Nah, man. So that tells me he also didn't really read comic books. But...
There was no social media.
Kept up
it was still in the age in which you'd get your ass kicked reading comic books in public. And now, to me, Nick Fury is synonymous with Samuel L. Jackson. I can't imagine anyone else playing the role. I pity the poor bastard who does become Nick Fury when the inevitable recasting happens. When Samuel L. Jackson's 90, which the time gap between Samuel L. Jackson...
By the way, never gonna happen.
...and 90 is the same time gap between my age now and Severus Snape's age he was supposed to be when Harry Potter first came to Hogwarts, which is the same amount of time between Severus Snape's age he's supposed to be and Harry Potter's birth. Point is, I've experienced it. I've experienced the doubt after a race swap casting in which I had to be like, well, what do I know? Because he did a great job. And that's the thing, dude playing
Did he?
Snape is a great actor. And if we're asking him to be Snape, that is, be a tormented introvert that we're going to be made to hate, but one day will make us cry. He can do a great job. Let's see what he does. All right, so the first trailer to the HBO Harry Potter series. Year 1, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.
Yeah, no. Sorry, garbage take right that last little bit. I get it being hopeful. Let's see what he does with it. You know what he's gonna do with it. You know what he's gonna do with it. First of all, we're gonna point out some elephants in the room. First of all, he's not going to live up to the acting ability of Alan Rickman and how he portrayed Snape, okay? And freaking Jeremy Jahns said it right then and there. Like, he is one of the whitest of whites of whites of whites characters. Described as a pearl white at one point. Okay? And I read the books like once. And I remember that. And the other thing, look. We got to kind of talk about the success. First of all, like and subscribe. We have to talk about whether this is going to be successful or not. And I think a lot of people are underestimating the type of fans Harry Potter attracts. A bunch of freaks. Okay, Harry Potter fandom is one of the weirdest, fattest, ugly, mongoloid creature attraction fandoms that exist. All right? That's just the reality. So, that being said, any of them that have critical thinking understands that they got the right amount of chromosomes up in here, they're probably going to hate on this casting because it is a betrayal. Not only is it lazy, this is actually racist. Because they don't believe, first of all, there is a black character in the books that they could focus on, they could expound upon, and does a lot of cool things. And they even put him in the movies, but didn't really do much with them. You could do stuff like that. You could do little like episodes where it's not focused on the main cast, you know, of like different students and what they're going through and their perspective, you know, on what's going on. You know, it'd be kind of cool, be a little different. Maybe it'll drag on the show a little longer, but it'd be cool, I think. Not a spin-off, but just like spin-off episodes in the middle, sprinkled in. Maybe even like some focus in the middle of a regular episode. But no, they don't believe a black man could portray a character that was actually created for him and be successful. They have to race swap and do the closest thing to blackface that they can do, and take a legacy, a phenomenal character, and give it to somebody. And also, like, the actor should be offended. He should have turned down the role. He should have been offended, being like, I am a professional actor. I don't want you to freaking hire me based off the color of my skin. I want you to hire me based on the quality I put out, the merit I have, the skills I have, and me being the best for the job. And I know no black man is going to be the best for the job for a white character, and no white man is going to be the best for the job for a black character. Like, it's pretty freaking simple math, brother. Like, this, you can't do that. All right? It also could be successful numbers-wise, money-wise, because of you got your writing. This is going to be a huge stain, but you got your writing. And the type of fandom that the Harry Potter is with the Mongoloids, you know, that, like, they might just brush past that. You know, and a lot of them hate J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling has her own set of freaking issues that she keeps backtracking and saying a bunch of nonsense. And she says some actually base stuff as well. She's just kind of a weirdo. She's just dumb. That's what she is, you know. Like, she's done the whole identity politics game, right? Dumbledore was never meant to be gay. And then at the end, she was like, let's make him gay to, like, appease the gays. You know, she doesn't really have integrity, right? But there are some things, and I'll stay on her side on this, that she'll solidify. She will not break on certain things that really go against basic, obvious knowledge and just common sense. You know, other things that she, like, there's some common sense that she just doesn't understand. But yeah, look, guys, it's simple. It's really stupid simple. Don't freaking race swap. Don't hire directors that want to put their perspective in it. If you're gonna make an adaptation, if you want to make your own new thing, go ahead, go for it. I'm all for people being creative and creating their own new world and own new franchise, whatever they want to do, own new story. Go for it. This is J.K. Rowling's story. She's laid out her vision in the books. That is what you need to adapt. Not your perspective, but your skills to the vision that J.K. Rowling has put out and wants. Okay? And sometimes, rarely, but J.K. Rowling is one of them, you have to go against what J.K. Rowling wants because they go against their own vision. Like saying that Hermione should be black. No. Playing the identity of politics. Freak no. It's pretty simple stuff. But yeah, it's kind of a wild card, this entire show. Let's say it is really well written, and that's the big stain. Big turd stain in the freaking show, right? It still might be successful just because of the insane fandom that Harry Potter has. It's a wacky bunch, man. If you're a normal person like me, you usually don't want to even associate with these people. But again, if people can avoid identity politics, I don't care how of a freak you look like. If we can have a conversation about just lore and Harry Potter and have fun, that's cool. I'll enjoy that. But as soon as you start speaking like the hair color you have, we're gonna have problems. Like and subscribe, people. Will it be successful? Will it not? You guys let me know. I don't know. Should we try reacting? I'm just sick of pausing, dude. I did want to react to Asmongold and Lord of the Rings, but yeah, I'm not sure. I just okay. Let me. LOTR. Disaster. Let's see if we can react to it. If it's going to like lag too much, we'll not. Okay. We'll try it.
On Christmas Day in the year 2000,
Let me move my face.
2001, 2002, and 2003, I, with my parents, went to see Lord of the Rings in movie theaters on Christmas Day.
Sick.
Lord of the Rings is my favorite series of all time, by far. Nothing else is even remotely close. And now, Rings of Power wasn't enough. They haven't humiliated us enough. They haven't done enough race swaps. They haven't done enough, fucking narrative shifts. Now, Stephen Colbert is going to be writing the new Lord of the Rings. Stephen Colbert is a huge fan of Lord of the Rings. If there's anything that Stephen Colbert could theoretically do correctly, it would be Lord of the Rings.
Nope.
But man, he sure hasn't done a lot correctly recently, hasn't he?
Okay.
They say that
I was a little worried. Oh, another Critical Drinker video. A reaction of a reaction. yeah, Stephen Colbert. I don't care how big of a fan you are of something. It doesn't mean you should be freaking writing it. All right? I'm a fan of a lot of things. Doesn't mean I have the ability to write it. And again, Lord of the Rings, greatest trilogy and greatest book series to ever be created. Ever. In the history of all of it. All of it. It is the best. Objectively. F you. Not this dude. But you know what I mean. Ooh, we might not get to react because the end. That was enough. Man, just asking, pausing, and seeing just deteriorate. I mean, it was out this, and I'm gonna go get some juice. Close window. Give me a second. I'm gonna go get some apple juice. Give me 1 second. Actually, let me write this. Give me a minute. Oh, give me a minute. I have to take off these socks, dude. Oh my gosh. Okay. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of race swapping in general? If you look at my channel, one of the shorts, I actually pulled it. I think I pulled it from the Average Boys podcast. By the way, I'm not going to say I'm going to be on there every Sunday, but I'm going to try. It's not my podcast. It's Chris's. And there's the Average Boys podcast every Sunday, 9 o'clock Eastern. Solid show. We just talk about how much we love comics, how much we love media, and how much we hate what's going on when they try to F with our stuff, right? We criticize what needs to be criticized. We share our thoughts. We're not freaking arbiters of truth, but we have fun. And we were talking, and I pointed out how race swaps is ridiculous and lazy and should never be happening. Like, there's a reason the character was written in a certain way. And everybody should be hired based off merit. And if you're going to adapt a property that already exists, it should be adapted truthfully and honestly, at least with the spirit of the product or franchise you're trying to adapt. The source material, right? And if you're trying to find a story, why don't you just write your own? Why don't you just write your own story where you could put as many whites, as many Asians, as many blacks, as many whatever you want in that story? It's fine. Go ahead. Have fun. Do whatever you want to do. But when you take something that's already beloved, because that's the safe choice. Here's the thing. Hollywood, they ran out of ideas a long time ago. They ran out of ideas a very long time ago. Okay? When you started seeing only adaptations and then adaptations/remakes, they don't have any more people that are writing original stories. That there's no comic, there's no novel. They wrote a script, they wrote a story, and they want to put it in movie form, and that's how it starts. Like, did Star Wars start as a freaking novel, as a book? No. George Lucas literally just created it from his mind and put it as a movie. Indiana Jones, boom. Like, there's original things usually can be really, really good, especially when you like put your money where your mouth is. Like, you put your money on the line. I've talked about this before. A lot of directors, they don't put their no directors put their money on the line, so then they can F around with whatever it is they're doing. They get a contract, they get some budget, and they can do whatever the hell they want because it's not their budget, it's the studio's budget. So then you get people that think they can write something really good like Zack Snyder, and then you get Rebel Moon. But guess what? He deserves praise for making that garbage Rebel Moon, because he at least grabbed something original from his head and put it out there. And then when you grab something beloved as Harry Potter, as Lord of the Rings, and you want to put Mary Sue's identity politics, like, what's the term that nobody's really using anymore? When you're trying to make females into males, practically. There's a term for it. It's like demasculating or something. I don't know the term. It's, yeah, you guys know what I mean. You're trying to do all this stuff, putting political ideology, changing characters to be gay or straight or whatever it is, just erasing what was original. Yeah, it's a recipe for disaster, man. You guys suck. You shouldn't be directing movies. You shouldn't be adapting anything. Like, when you take something, you have to keep it in the spirit. Yeah, there's gonna be creative liberties you're gonna take because you're changing it from its original form. There's no book in existence, novel, that you could adapt page per page. One of the reasons why comic books can do so well in a movie, in the cinema/TV form, is because it's already scenes in the comics and a story, right? You could take that and expound upon it. Like, comic books are the highlights of that character's life. All characters are going to have a day where they just sleep in, drink some coffee, hang out, do nothing. Right? So there's room to grow in the comic book sphere. But when you have a novel, a book, that's very detailed from their day to day, what they're thinking, how they're going about their day, what they're going to do, what challenges are coming up in their lives, there's not much room. But because of acting and portrayals, it has to be a little bit different. One of the best examples I could put out there is Gimli. And remember, Lord of the Rings is not a one-for-one adaptation of the books. The books are still much more superior. But they kept the spirit of Tolkien. In the books, Gimli asks for a strand of her hair. She gives him 3. Right? And it's very, very intimate. And in our and it's a one-on-one, thing. The reason why it works while you're reading it is because you are Gimli in the moment, and you understand everything that happened as Gimli's vision. And so it feels natural to you because you are sharing, as the reader, you are sharing that intimacy with Galadriel. And it only feels right from a one-on-one person's perspective. In a movie, you are the audience, and you understand what everybody's going through. You're following their journey. But when you see something visually, it's much different. So what do? The actor is like, should I put two hands out? Should I reach? How should I act? And the best thing was to show just his expression in telling Legolas, because the scene wouldn't work. It is very weird seeing somebody ask for a strand of somebody's hair. You're going to be like, that's a certified freak, like a weirdo. And she's even weirder for giving hair. And then the way he delivers the line, I asked for a strand of her, of her golden head, and she gave me 3. And then you see Legolas smile, because then that's an intimate scene between, like, it's like the beginning of their friendship. That intimacy that he's sharing with Legolas is like, wow, I never thought I could gaze upon an angel in this world. And she did something even more angelic. She gave me more than what I asked for. It's an incredible scene. It is phenomenal. And so there are going to be liberties you could take. And one of them is not freaking race swapping, man. The freak. And the other is not hiring Stephen Colbert. Freaking douchebag. You don't do that. But that's what we're going to get. Now, I don't think the actor should be receiving death threats. Okay? But you know, that's life. You receive death threats. You're on the internet. You're famous. Like, dude, I'm on the internet and I've already received death threats. I only got 90 subscribers. What the freak are we talking about here? Like, you're going to receive death threats, man. Now, are those people psychotic giving you death threats? Yes, they are. But why are you putting out there in the limelight, you know? Shouldn't be handled that internally. They're using, and maybe the studio told them to put it out, because they're using every chance they get to, like, make an excuse of how behind the world is. Like, maybe some of you guys, like, I'm not such a bad person. I'm going to show you guys the Starfleet Academy freaks. But you saw, some of you've seen the actress from Star Trek Starfleet Academy saying that the world isn't ready for inclusivity and, like, beauty of gays and blacks. Blah, 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 blah. Freaking monkey talk, dude. Like, it's freaking insane. And I know what you guys are freaking saying. Like, that's not racist. That's just me explaining how retarded it is. Yeah. Apple juice. But yeah, man. Movies need to stay clean and pure and fun. And adaptations you should be able to adapt it. You shouldn't change things. You should adapt things. Changing, like, I'm sorry, like, settings and the race. And when you change the race, because, like, some of you are thinking, oh, you know, it's just color. And you're right, it is just color. But that color does matter. It does. The setting, the time, the place, the world, all of it matters. And if you're saying that it's just color, why does it matter? Then I'd say the same thing to you. Yeah. Why did they change it if it doesn't matter? To be more inclusive, not an excuse. Not a reason, not an excuse. Shouldn't be happening. Hey, I read this book, but I don't see any black characters in it. But it's a huge world, so should I change the race? No. Go talk to the creator if they're still alive and see if you can add a black character here and there, but not interrupting the main story. Make your own side story. You can love something and then be a part of its progression, but you can't change it. That's what a fan is. They love what was given to them. You're not a fan if you take something that you claim to love and you change it so it fits better to the things you like. That's not a fan. That's called an usurper. That's called disingenuine. That is called evil. You're disingenuous. But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I got for today, guys. I'm beat, tired. I had a fun stream. It was good talking to you guys. We're chilling. I'm gonna let it end there. Maybe I'll go watch Philip Chan's stream, dude. He's chilling. All right. Peace out, everybody. Love you guys. Like and subscribe. Yeah. Blacky Snape. Blackity black, 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 Snape, black, black, blackity black, black.